Surprisingly, despite having no finish line or way to beat the game as a whole, Rocket League has a relatively developed speedrunning page. At speedrun.com, there's quite a few categories that you can compete in. And you can see there's actually a lot of entries.
What? What the f?
So when I saw this, I was like, oh, dude, I gotta try this. So I did a little bit of planning, started my stream, and just went for it. So basically, what it is, you know how there's a tutorial in Rocket League? There's a basic and an advanced version. As soon as you do both of those, you're good. Apparently, it's faster to do the advanced before the basic. Let's see. This is Sinestro's speedrun. So you see, it starts out with just the normal basic side dodge stuff for the advanced stuff. But where it gets interesting is this right here, where you actually have to flip and flip at the perfect times, ends with the flip cancel. Still pretty standard, but getting a little bit more complex. Then you get to the double jump portion. This part is really interesting because look, he gets the flip reset on the ball and uses it for a wave dash. And check out this right here. He touches the ball into the other ball to knock that one out at the same time with just one touch. And then there's the aerial one. A lot of room for improvement on this one. Then it ends right here. Advanced tutorial complete. And then watch. It just goes free play. Look at that. Look at the fast clicking. I'm going to try and be as fast as possible. I'm going to like practice that, get the muscle memory down and everything. So now he's going to the basic one. And the weird part about the basic one is it limits your controls. So he's literally unable to jump and boost at that point. Here he can flip, but he can't boost. Trying to hit that in as fast as possible. Then there's the dodge one. Just the weird flip to put it in instantly. And then you just boost. Again, here you can't flip. It forces you to just drive straight into it with only boost. Locating the ball. There it is. Just plops it right in. The power slide. Okay, so the power slide one is going to be the one that makes or breaks the entire run for us. This is where it's actually going to be so difficult. We're going to have a lot of heartbreaking runs in here. So what you have to do is you have to get in this little ring here. You see that little ring on front here? You have to get in there and then turn and power slide and turn around and go to the finish line. So he like barely skims it right there, right? But the problem is, it is so confusing as what counts as being inside of that little ring there. So I'll show it again. Just barely skims it and then goes straight to the finish line. And then as soon as this screen pops up right here, that's where your time ends. So we're going to give that a try. And this is the overlay. Welcome to speedrunning in Rocket League. Here we go. First attempt. And before I knew it, I was off. I am now literally speedrunning Rocket League. My first run started out pretty well, but once I got to the first difficult part where you can save a ton of time, I ended up failing, which lost me a few seconds. Flip reset to wave dash. This part's hard. Yeah, that one's hard. I have to basically hit that ball into the other one in order to like knock them both out with one thing. That's going to be really hard. I'm going to have to practice that. At the very next section, I ended up missing a basic aerial, which set my time back as well. It was clear at this point that I was going to need a lot of practice. So with a time of 1:25 on the first half, I was clearly already pretty far behind. But it's not too bad because most of the basic tutorial in the second half was pretty easy. At least until you get to the last step. This part is so weird. Like, see, how does that not count, dude? What? Dude! I'm power sliding in the circle. How does that count? This is gonna need some serious testing. So yeah, first attempt, 3:05. The biggest time saver is gonna be getting the power slide on the first try. Here we go. So the thing about the text coming on screen is I'm spamming triangle. Originally, I was spamming X, but the problem with that was as soon as the screen went away, I would just double jump. And obviously that screwed it up.
Look at this dude.
We're not going to talk about that. So on my real second attempt, I pretty much ended up doing just as good as the first attempt, except at the end, on the power slide, I ended up discovering something big. How does that not count? Am I not holding it long enough? I'm not holding it long enough. I figured it out. I already figured it out. 2:43. That's not bad. Not bad. So on only my second run, not only did I save 20 seconds from my personal best, But I also discovered that the reason it wasn't counting my power slide was because I wasn't holding it down long enough. Now that I knew that, I was confident I knew pretty much everything I needed to know in order to get the fastest time. To my knowledge, all I needed to do now was practice. Ball there. Please? Let's go! Do you guys see that? I actually did it. I did it that time. I touched it, right? Did it count that? What? Oh my god, and it didn't even count the other one. Oh my gosh, there goes the run. That was a good hit. Saw it right down the line. Yes. See, that's the trick. There we go. 232. Dude. Ah, basic, go. How are we still saving time? This is nuts. Go. Okay. Okay. Not bad. It's a new PB again. Uh-oh. Okay. I literally, oh my god, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. The timer didn't start. Did you guys see that? Oh my gosh. I'm actually nuts. Bruh. No! 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 Yes. Okay. Yes! Let's go! Let's go! New PB. After only about 30 minutes of practice, I had already gotten within 6 seconds of the world record. And that seems super close until you realize that the last few seconds are the hardest to shave off because it just comes down to being precise with your turns and skips. The real grind has only begun. The next hour of the stream was spent just grinding out the skills I needed. If I messed up something at the start, I would play it out anyway just so I could get better at the whole thing. By the end of the stream, I got another new personal best. Wait, 221? No! I was less than 1 second away from the world record. But to be sure, since your official time cuts out the loading screens, I went in and cut out those parts to see what it added up to. And sure enough, I was about 0.8 seconds away. And at that point, I decided to call it a day and come back tomorrow. So, I gotta be honest. I did a little bit of practicing off stream in between yesterday and today. I didn't do any full-on runs, timed runs or anything. But here's the thing. It was 100% worth it. And let me show you why. I discovered something that is gonna help our run out tremendously. Watch this. Go right here. Turn. Boom. That counted. That power slide counted. And it looks like I didn't even touch it. I didn't even go inside of the curvature part. I think that you don't even have to go inside of that little circle. You just have to go to that front edge. So that is the strategy that we are going to be using. Already at the start of day 2, you could tell I needed some time to get back in the motion of things. It took me 30 minutes to have a potential good run, but in the power slide portion, I failed. Ah! 20 minutes after that, I actually did have a completed run, but it wasn't a new PB because I just wasn't as precise with all the little things like the power shot. It was clear that I needed to be precise with everything in order to beat this record and that I was in for a much harder challenge than I originally thought. The next half hour was my training phase. I had to get into shape. Too many times had I made it to the end but failed at the last moment. So I put some extra practice in that power slide and did everything I could to get this world record as soon as possible. That's it. Oh, that is perfect. No! Soon after my training, I got a new personal best. Oh, that wasn't that good. Wait! Wait! 2:21.26. That was my new best time with loads. Faster than the world record. The problem, however, was that the world record is categorized by the time without loads. So I went in to be sure if we got it. 2:09:07. It's not it. We were about a half second too long. But that wasn't it. I kept trying. Oh my god! I thought it was over. Right then and there. But upon cutting out the load times, we were off by 149 milliseconds. And when I looked back at the run, I realized that the reason for it was the power shot on the basics section. Something I wasn't even worried about in the first place. So at that point, with motivation at an all-time low, I decided that tomorrow was the day. In between streams, I decided to do an insane amount of training. Once again, I never did any timed runs, but I especially wanted to make sure that I could at least somewhat consistently get that power slide at the end. When I first started practicing, it took me like 10 tries to do it correctly on average. So I recorded all the times where I did do it correctly, and then I studied them to see what they all had in common. I learned that the most important factor was pressing the power slide button at the precise correct moment. It'll just reset you if you don't press it in that small time window that lasts like a quarter second. I also learned that the sooner you let go of power slide, as long as it's not too early, the faster your recovery will be. So I made sure to get that timing down as well. And finally, I also practiced the power shot a decent bit since that turned out to be something I should worry about. After all this practice, I decided I was finally ready to boot up stream and give it one last try. Alright, so you guys can see. We are on the leaderboard here. Right here on the leaderboard. But we are 149 milliseconds behind first place. So we need to get that little extra edge off. And I think we can do it. I didn't know it then, but in that moment, all my training had paid off.
I missed it. No!
Oh my gosh. We did it. We did it. 2:08 and 2 frames. You are looking at the Rocket League speedrunning champion.